The Library Surgery Podcast, number 4, the library video. Seen Ridley Scott's Napoleon and you want to make your own library video? What could go wrong? It could be an epic tale of ebooks and ebook worms. Library video is a niche genre of not much explored content, and if you must contribute, here are 10 tips on what to do and what not to do based entirely on my own experience and many continuing failures. Point 1. The library video. The genres and subgenres of the library video is the title of a PhD that I'm sure will never be written. Were it to see the light of day, it might include chapters on the welcome video, all about the library service. This is the video that sits on your web page to welcome your virtual visitors and users. The induction video, aimed at specific groups that will stand in for you because you just can't be everywhere. The how-to video, how to create an NHS Open Athens account, use the new library catalogue, or recent changes to BMJ best practice. The instructional video, the talks and lectures you would give in person, but for various reasons you just can't, and so you record them instead, perhaps on how to search, critical appraisal, and so on. The library podcast. This is a new addition to the library media universe. It can be recorded with or without moving images, although audio, a much underrated medium, can be as effective as the moving image, and more about this later. Do feel free to add to this list, and if you want to, you could apply for the PhD. The broader point is deciding on the types of audio or video will provide you with context and approach. How-to videos are nearly always screen capture and narrative. Instructional videos are usually talks to camera with examples and illustrations and so on. Tip 2, the science bit. Get yourself some editing software. I recommend WeVideo as it works on the web and it's not that expensive. It's easy to use and you can edit clips together and cut out the bad bits. WeVideo does screen capture and you can record narrative over the top and add text, title, graphics and transitions. You will also need a YouTube account to load your content on the web and link and embed your videos on your website. Be aware, of course, that some NHS networks block YouTube, so you can also have a look at using Vimeo, which is less likely to be blocked. Then you need a camera, which in most cases can be your mobile phone. Low resolution videos are fine for the web and use a lot less bandwidth. A warning though, they don't usually have great microphones, or at least my Chinese-made cheapest chips phone doesn't. So with an ear to narrations and podcasts, I did invest in a proper microphone. Tip 3, write a script. Do you need a script? You most certainly do. Until you've tried it, you won't know how hard it is to ad-lib anything on camera in one take. So, try it first to find out how hard it is, and then you can sit down and write your script. If you're interviewing someone, you can give them a detailed prompt and get them to rehearse their reply to make sure you know what you're getting. If it's just you, then you can read the script either teleprompt style, or if you're narrating slides or images, record the audio and then add it to your video using the editing software. Tip 4, leave lots of space in your recording. Remember that you can edit your videos, so if you leave space, it makes it a lot easier. Count to 10 in your head once you press the record button and then speak. Don't start immediately, as you won't be able to edit it later. If you fluff your lines, then stop, count to 10 and go again. You can then do the whole thing in one take, import the audio or video into your editing software and just remove the bad bits. That way the tone will be even, which is hard to do if you record different bits at different times. Tip 5. Don't make yourself the focus of the video. I have seen some truly terrible library videos in my time, and to be honest, I've made a few myself. The worst I ever saw was a librarian talking about the library looking over a desk, a bit like a politician used to talk in the 1950s, before they invented media training. Your role in the video, if you have one, is to facilitate the narrative or the message that you want to convey. So you can have a bright and breezy welcome message, or an introduction to frame a message, or something to put a face to a name. But that's about as far as you need to go. Tip 6. Get other people to tell your story. This is as true of videos as it is for any library, publicity or journalism. Put your words into the mouths of your users. This can of course be a hard road to travel, but if you can find a user to say what a wonderful thing the new library catalogue is and how fantastic the new features are, then you'll have more impact than if you just tell your users about it yourself. It's legitimate to provide prompts or maybe discuss what they're about to say beforehand, but try not to kill the spontaneity if you can. Tip 7. Something is better than nothing. I can remember back in the noughties asking a colleague in the media school, I worked in a university then, what people would use YouTube for. Putting your own videos on the web, what was that all about? How naive that sounds now. Anyway, for better or worse, your users will be used to badly produced moving images and sound, so you need not fear if your production values are a bit basic. Have a go, and every attempt you make will be better than the last one. Keep in mind the richness of video will convey much more than the written word ever can, or say a PDF guide with screenshots. Tip 8. Keep it short. It's hard to make a bad short video because you must think a bit harder about what goes into it. It's Holland's law that the longer a video is, the worse it gets. So as a rule of thumb, never exceed 3 minutes. Try for 1.5 if you can. If you can't do it in 3 minutes or less, then break what you want to say down into 2 or 3 short videos. The caveat is that some instructional videos might be in the form of online seminars or webinars or lectures, and then different rules might apply. Even then, it must be good to break the 10-minute barrier or even the 20-minute barrier. Tip 9. The forgotten art of audio. If you don't want to make a video, why not consider audio? Audio files are low bandwidth, easy to send by email, and if you use Spotify or Google Podcasts, you can host them online. Maybe go the whole way and create your own podcast, although I have to say that is a whole other story, which I might tell at some point in the future. Audio is easier for your users to access and can convey any message or announcement that you could put out as text. Some users may prefer audio, as we'll have different preferences for getting information. It's just until recently we just didn't have a choice. Tip 10. Keep your original masters. Just the last word on the argument that videos are too hard because you must remake them every time something changes. I will confess I made a video about registering for Open Athens just before it changed. Same for HDAS just before its closure was announced. There are risks, but if you keep the masters, you have the option to re-edit them and drop in new screen captures and new images and new screenshots as required. Okay, I'm signing off now, and thank you for listening.